What's up? Welcome back. Hopefully, you guys get the notification. There's been a lot of goofiness going on. So I'm getting ready to walk out of my door. So now, a lot of things have transpired. Some have been not favorable. Definitely not this. Definitely people are not getting the notifications right now. And once again, this is being a problem. Now, to support the page with Super Chat, all you have to do is click the link in the description box where it says donate. You can click that button, donate to the page, and all will be forgiven. So now, because people have donated to the page and done tremendous with that, we were able to actually do some things for you, the people. Be patient when you say the likes aren't sticking. Hit it once, let it sit for a while and see if it takes. No, I still can't get a haircut right now. Now, back to why we're here in the first place. Andre Iguodala. Why he's not being respected in the game the way he should. That's where we are right now. That's the point. People was like, man, why did they trade Iggy? That's what I heard. Iggy got traded. What's up? Why did they trade Iggy? Well, here's why they traded Iguodala. Bob Myers comes from a media background. Okay, he's a media guy. Andre Iguodala, when he came here, he negotiated a deal with Rod Pelinka. Rod Pelinka likes Bob Myers. And, like, they're very good friends. Now, when you start piecing things together, you start to see he was offered basically the same type of contract or a better contract for other teams. And Andre Iguodala could have got much more money when he signed a 4-year deal for like $48 million, which was below market value to come to the Golden State Warriors, a team that hadn't won anything. But he saw that the team had pieces they were building. They brought in Iguodala, who was immediately inserted into the team starting lineup. Mark Jackson was very happy to get him. They built a very good relationship as far as friendship outside of basketball with their faith. And the guy was incredible. He played into his contract, earned every penny, and they got him below market value. Here is the issues. Steve Kerr is relieved of his duties not Steve Kerr, but Mark Jackson is relieved of duties as head coach. Whole shakeup to the team. They had nothing against Steve Kerr. It's just that Mark Jackson was their coach. That was their guy. And they wanted to win it with their coach who believed in them. Now, when Steve Kerr gets there, he calls Andre Iguodala into the room and said, Andre, I want you to trust me this season. He said, you'll be much better helping the team right now if you come off the bench. And he took Andre Iguodala out of the starting lineup. Andre Iguodala was like, what? He's like, we have no punch on this bench right now. We need somebody to lead the second unit. And we want to know if you can accept that role for us. We really need you right now because we're struggling in that area. And it's our second unit. We need somebody with leadership on the floor to lead them. So they talked him into taking a six-man role. That's why his book is called The Sixth Man. So, he takes this six-man role. Something he didn't want to do. I gotta go get his book too. He didn't want to. He didn't want to be that guy. To hold the team back. But Harrison Barnes needed to start. You know? So, anyhow, moving forward. The team's rolling. They win all these games. They win a championship. They go back to it, and, Iguodala was MVP. Most valuable player of your first championship of this new dynasty era with the Bob Myers. And what does the team do when they win the championship? They see their coach, Mark Jackson. They get up. They go over to Mark. And what do? They all shake his hand, pay respects to Mark Jackson. Nobody thought nothing of it. There was no big deal made about it. None whatsoever. Bob Myers didn't like it. He thought it was disrespectful to Steve. And the way they parted with Mark Jackson, they kind of wanted everybody to be on board with the new movement, but not to do it that way, to where it be talked about and spoken. So he kind of disagreed with how it went down. It wasn't viewed as something good anymore. Now, We're looking at situations in which Steve Kerr is trying to build a rapport in the second season with Iguodala. They win all these games, 70-something games. Oh, the season is wonderful, and they lose in the NBA Finals to Cleveland. And Iguodala got blocked. LeBron blocked Iguodala's layup. And they lose the final. Steph was hurt. The team didn't excel. Iguodala felt a lot of it was his fault. And going into the offseason, Andre Iguodala worked so hard. And every time Andre Iguodala would get the ball, he wouldn't lay it up. He would dunk the basketball the next season. He would jump up and literally dunk the basketball. Now, then you haven't been looking, Mike B. I've been all over that subject. Now, let's talk about things in general. Because some things need to be said. When we're talking about the subject. Iguodala is doing well. He has some outbursts where he made a comment that they didn't like, and he was fined like $10,000 for cracking a joke. So, as you can hear, this is all this blue, 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 blue. I get this 1,000 times a day, and you guys get to hear this. All of these are messages and alerts. Now, back to the subject at hand. Now, after this season, they got Kevin Durant. They win the championship. Everything is lovely in Golden State. Now you have a major problem on your hands. And that major problem is the fact that it's negotiation time. Where everybody's seeing Iguodala come up huge that season. So Andre Iguodala, who came up huge that season, it was time for the renegotiation of the contract. And when it came down to the renegotiation of the contract, everyone knew that he was going to get such a huge deal, and everybody was like, man, they finna take care of, Iguodala. They're going to take care of Iggy. Wasn't the case. Unfortunately, it's not the case. They offered him a 2-year deal for like $24 million. In 2017, when July 1st hit, free agency, they offered Andre Iguodala 2 years for like 24 million. They offered him a 2-year deal. He was insulted. Now Rob Pelinka had left. His agent had left and went to the Lakers. So he still stayed with what's that, Landmark Sports, I think. So they offered him a 2-year deal for like 20 some odd million. Andre Iguodala was pissed, beyond pissed. After all he did for the team, he didn't think that they would view him as little as they did. So he was angry. And with other teams actually ready to pay him more, they were about to let him go. And other people who went in there and was like, hey, what's going on here? And what's happening? And, with the contract, other teammates had to, poke around to where the Warriors was like, the players had to tell the teammates had to tell them, like, Bob, I don't get involved in other people's, negotiations, but we need Andre. You know that, right? We need Andre Iguodala. Like, don't screw this up. So when they saw other teams was interested in that they weren't going to take a 2-year deal, and what he was looking for was a 3-year, $50 million deal. And what they settled on was a 3-year, $48 million deal. Well, there was a lot of problems there. So with problems come, you know, not really. A lot of people's perspectives always change. When you see situations differ, where narratives are changing all the time. I just got back in here to So Andre wasn't happy when he came back. If somebody offer you less than what you know you're worth, you're not going to be happy. It's just not going to be the case. He wasn't happy. Well, the situations that presented themselves at the time, the narrative changed. People involved have changed. So when you look at that, you start asking yourself questions and saying, is it worth it or is it not worth it? Is he going to stick around for just money? They paid him 3 years, $48 million. And to tell you the truth, they were never going to pay him but for 2 years. The third year, they were going to trade him. It's the reality of the situation. They were just going to trade him. They never were those guys. So basically, his agency knew there was a possibility he was going to be moved. So before that, he could be traded or they can do something disrespectful to him as move him. He was putting out a book to tell all his feelings about what it went down being the sixth man. Now, the Warriors going to play like the book got him out of town. So they look like the bad guys for getting rid of him. But they were planning on getting rid of him anyway because of the cap. They didn't want a hard cap, and they wanted to get under that, and paying Iguodala $17 million when he was 35, going to be 35 years old, they didn't feel was worth it. So they were always going to move Andre Iguodala. Andre knew that because they wanted to offer him a 2-year deal and not a 3. He kind of forced their hand. So now they look like the bad guys because, one, he was pissed he didn't get the 3-year, 50-year deal that was on the table. Now, Memphis will have to swallow a $17 million buyout. And then he can return to his former agent, who is Rob Pelinka, who represented him all the years of his career till he went to the Lakers. He can make that move, and no one would question it. No one would say anything about it. It would literally mean nothing. Some people were shocked, but Andre expected it. That this was it. Los is calling in the middle of my live video. I am running 5 minutes behind schedule. I don't like to be behind schedule for nothing. I was supposed to be out the door by now. We just need the keys to the Batmobile and we out. Why? I covered everything. Nothing more to cover. Well, like I always say, the business is gonna get done one way or another. They were thinking of trading Andre Iguodala in midway through the season. Before the trade deadline, they were thinking of shopping Andre Iguodala. They put their feelers out there. Oh. If they sign back to Toronto for the 1-year deal, I told you what he was going to get in Toronto was the most massive 1-year deal offer in basketball. If he goes back. So that's up to him. But the deal was already in place. Like, they got Masai Ujiri No, a lot of people think differently. A lot of us do not think the same. Sorry about this. Somebody interrupted. Oh, no. Back in, what was it, December? One of those games, Andre Iguodala took the basketball and threw it in the stands. That pissed off Bob Myers. Then to come out and attack Bob and the training staff. When you attack Bob and the training staff, that wasn't gonna fly. That was not going to fly. Once he did that, they had zero intentions. If you're the Warriors, was it the smart thing to do to get rid of Andre Iguodala? Bob Myers is an open homosexual. That has nothing to do with the situation. Or maybe it does. I don't know. He has a very bitter relationship and Rick Welts. And Rick Welts really, him and Bob really have a very core dislike for Mark Jackson religious, approach, which I don't know. I thought they both was religious as well, so. But I don't know. All Mark Jackson wanted to do was he wanted to, after the end of the game, he wanted to have prayer service at the stadium. They told him no prayers. But if players have had like parties and everything else there at the stadium after the game was over, but he wanted to have a prayer service. That was a problem. Look. All I can tell you is Andre Iguodala is very close to Mark Jackson in faith. Could that have played a part in it? Maybe. I just doubt it. I think from a basketball perspective, giving a 35-year-old man $17 million to make, even though he's great coming off the bench, you could probably, at this point, you're not going to win a championship. You're basically going to be a playoff team. Why pay one more season for a year you're not going to win a title? Why am I going to commit $17 million when I can get that off my books? And that way we can get off the hard salary cap. See, they have to pay a penalty to be in a hard salary cap. So freeing up that $17 million takes you off the hard salary cap. So I look at it from a realistic standpoint. All the other things are on the sidelines and the reasons, and I look at it as business, and that I look at the business aspect of it. And the business aspect is they made a business decision. He was getting moved anyway. This is why they wanted to only sign him for 2 years. So they said, okay, we'll give you the 3. 3 years, $48 million. He'll never see that last year. He'll get the money, but not from them. No, I don't like funnel cake. Well, thanks. Where y'all going? I'm on my way to the city life. Yeah. It's gonna be something, but gotta do it. So we're live now. Wave hi. All right. That's my friend and his wife. Becky and Brad, they're both Hispanic. No, she just left me a message asking if I like funnel cake. She just left me a text message, and then I ended up driving up to the car. Watch this. I'll play it for you.
Text from V. Diana. Hey Cap, do you like funnel cakes? I was wondering if you want one on 4th of July.
See? But I don't like funnel cakes. No, it's Abraham and Diana. Pretty much trying to stay cool. But like I was saying, the narratives change. Everything has changed when it comes forward to dealing with the obvious situations. Andre Iguodala had to go to free up that cap space. It only made sense. It made good business sense. There's no other way around it. I would take that money. Now you got money available to play with. If you want to go on a hard cap, you can get a couple of other guys for 1-year deals, put them on the bench. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities to play with. But this is what I mean by other teams. They don't have to keep you for that long. But Andre Iguodala gets an extra $17 million out of it. And that's good and rewarding for him. So he already knew he was leaving. That's what this whole book was about. Now, he can go to the Lakers and squeeze them for some money. LeBron wants him over there anyway. Rob Pelinka wants him over there. That's his former client. His long-term client. He signed him right out of Arizona. So as much as all the sideshow about everything that happened, the disrespect was done to Iguodala from the moment Kerr came on the team and their negotiations and everything and how they felt about him. Even though he won MVP, he did all these things for the team and made sacrifices. It hurted his market value. By him going to the bench, that hurt his market value. He accepted less money to come there because of Rob Pelinka's relationship with the Golden State Warriors owner and Bob Myers. Well, Boogie sacrificed for himself. You know, he needed an opportunity to be able to go out and show, this might have been his last year in the league. Some say Boogie is upset because he had an offer and his agent turned it down looking for something else, and he missed out on an opportunity to be picked up by a team that he didn't mind going to. He would have taken that deal, but whatever that deal is, they're not saying to the forefront. But there was a team that said that they offered a deal for Boogie, and Boogie didn't mind going there, and he's like, yeah, we agreed to this, but your agent tried to squeeze us. And we said, sorry, we're not going to do that. So they moved on to somebody else. And that screwed up, that pissed Boogie off tremendously, because whatever place that was, Boogie wanted to go there. Well, the Rockets are trying to add on to what they got and subtract their biggest problem, which is Capella. They screwed up. They signed Chris Paul to too much money, and they signed Clint Capella to too much money. It's hard to move Chris Paul. They're only 1 or 2 players away from making a run. I still don't think they're coming out of the West because they're too self-destructive. Yes, sir. Well, Andre Iguodala got an extra year out of it, but I knew the Warriors weren't going to pay it. I knew that when the deal took place. I knew this was Andre Iguodala's last year. Even though I knew he we would want to see him come back business-wise, it wasn't going to make sense for them to keep him. No, D'Angelo Russell will not help them win a championship. Not at all. He's not the kind of player in which they move the ball around and they're trusting him, you know, to do what he do. If they can get 2 years out of him to see how it works, they got a 4-year deal in place with him. 2 years, they're going to see what he wants to do. And hopefully he plays well enough. In that 2 years, they can make a trade for him or trade him to someplace else. If it doesn't work out, that's what I'm saying. If it works out, great. You've just cut all your debt and your problems in half. You've cut all your debt and problems in half. I feel 60 right now. This is how you look when you don't get a lot of sleep. When you're getting like 4 and 5 hours of sleep. But when I start getting my 8 hours of sleep again, I'm gonna look a lot different. So don't forget to donate to the page. Hit the Cash App up. It's your boy Carcino, man. I'm out. Deuces.